Things are changing, and they're changing fast. By 2026, the workplace is going to look fundamentally different, all thanks to AI and automation. The question isn't if you need to adapt anymore, it's how. How do you build a career that doesn't just survive this new landscape, but actually thrives in it?
All right, let's get straight to the number that probably got you here. We've been digging through the global data, and a very specific set of skills is already pulling in compensation packages of over $600,000. And no, this isn't some far-off future prediction. This is happening right now for the top talent in the field.
So that's the big question, right? In this new economy, where do you invest your time and your energy to get the biggest return? More importantly, what's going to keep you in the game, not just to 2026, but all the way to 2030 and beyond? That's exactly what we're here to break down.
So here's how we're going to do it. We'll start with what we're calling the foundational stack. These are your recession-proof skills. Then my co-host will walk you through the AI Trinity. After that, I'll jump back in for a deep dive on salaries and growth. We'll look at the barriers to entry, and finally, we'll imagine 3 different futures for the year 2030. Ready?
Okay, let's kick things off with the foundational stack. I want you to think of these skills as the literal bedrock of our digital world. They're so essential that they stay in demand even when the economy gets a little shaky. First up, cloud computing and DevOps. Now, this is so much more than just storing photos online. This is the entire engine room of the internet. It's how companies build and run their apps with insane speed and reliability. They're using platforms like AWS and Google Cloud, of course, but also tools like Docker, which is kind of like a shipping container for code, and Kubernetes, which is like the port authority that manages all those containers at a massive scale. It's the hidden machinery that keeps everything you use online running smoothly.
And if cloud and DevOps is the engine room, then cybersecurity is the fortress wall around it. I mean, think about it. As everything moves to the cloud and we all work from everywhere, the number of ways for bad actors to get in just explodes. Cybersecurity pros are the guardians. They're on a constant, proactive hunt for weaknesses, protecting our data from everything you can imagine. The demand is absolutely critical, which is why top experts are commanding salaries over $220,000 in the US and more than 70 lakh rupees in India. And this really brings us to the key takeaway about this foundational stack. When things get tough, a company can't just decide to, stop protecting its customer data. As this quote puts it, these jobs are mission-critical, non-discretionary expenses. They are the absolute last roles to be cut in a downturn, which makes them an incredibly stable career choice. Okay, now for the really disruptive stuff. Let's move on to what is, frankly, the most financially rewarding set of skills on our list, what we're calling the AI Trinity. If the foundational stack is about keeping today running, this is about inventing tomorrow. So this Trinity is made up of 3 distinct but really deeply connected fields. You've got data science, generative AI, and AI/ML engineering. Now, each one has a unique job, but the real magic, the real power, happens when they all work together. Understanding how they connect is key.
Let's start with data science. The best way to think of a data scientist is as a kind of digital detective. They're the ones who dive into these giant, messy pools of data to find the hidden clues, the patterns, the trends. They use models to basically tell a company, here's what your data says happened, and here's what it predicts is going to happen next.
Next up, generative AI. So if data science is the detective, generative AI is the creator. This is the skill of prompting and building models that can produce totally new stuff. We're talking human-like text, images you can't believe aren't real, and even working code. It's called one of the hottest skills in tech for a reason. It's not just making things better, it's creating entirely new possibilities.
And that brings us to the foundation of the Trinity, the architects of this whole new world, AI and machine learning engineering. These are the people who actually build the core intelligent systems, the complex neural networks that make everything else possible. They use frameworks like TensorFlow and PyTorch to construct the very models that data scientists analyze and generative AI specialists use. Without them, there's no AI. It's that simple.
All right, my turn. We've heard what these skills are, and it's fascinating stuff. But let's talk money. What are these skills actually worth on the open market? Let's dive into the hard numbers.
Look, if your main goal is pure maximum earning potential, this chart says it all. We analyze the top-tier compensation packages, and the skills with the absolute highest ceilings are, number 1, AI/ML engineering, followed very closely by generative AI. And then, maybe a bit of a surprise, at number 3 is elite web development. But yeah, AI is clearly in a league of its own.
So, how high are we talking? Well, it's pretty staggering.
For a senior AI/ML researcher at a frontier lab like OpenAI or in Tesla's AI group, total compensation can hit an astounding $600,000 or more. In India, that's over 1 crore rupees. Generative AI specialists are nipping at their heels, with top jobs clearing 400,000, and even elite web developers at places like Netflix can command salaries in the $300,000 to $400,000 range.
But, a high salary today doesn't mean much without demand tomorrow. So this chart looks at market velocity. Which skills are growing the fastest? No surprise, AI/ML and generative AI are on top thanks to billions being poured into them. But look at number 3, augmented reality. That's interesting. Its growth is being fueled by two things coming together: 5G giving us the bandwidth we need, and powerful new AR devices finally hitting the market.
Okay, so those numbers are huge. But let's be real. You don't just wake up one day with a $600,000 skill. Those rewards come with a cost of entry, a real investment of time and effort. So let's break down what that investment looks like.
And you can see a pretty clear split here. The hardest skills to break into are, unsurprisingly, that AI Trinity. They demand a really deep understanding of advanced math, stats, and specialized programming. We're talking years of focused study. On the flip side, skills like product management or UI/UX design have a more accessible on-ramp. They rely more on strategic thinking and understanding the user, which can be a more direct path for a lot of people. That doesn't mean they're easy, not at all, but the barrier to entry is just different.
All right, let's put on our future goggles for this last part. A skill's value isn't static. It can change dramatically depending on what's happening in the world. So let's fast forward to 2030 and play out 3 very different what-if scenarios.
First, the stress test. What if the economy tanks? In a serious recession, companies slash their budgets. The focus snaps from innovation to survival. In that world, the most valuable people are the ones who keep the lights on and the doors locked. That's cloud and DevOps to keep costs down, and cybersecurity to protect a company's crown jewels.
Okay, but what if things go the other way? Like, way the other way. A future where AI is accelerating so fast that big breakthroughs happen every month. In that world, the entire economy gets rebuilt around AI. The most powerful people are the ones who can build it, create with it, and make sense of it. The whole AI trinity, engineering, Gen AI, and data science, they become the engine of everything.
And here's one more to think about. Imagine a world where those slick, augmented reality glasses finally become a thing everyone has, moving the internet off our screens and into the world around us. In that future, the most vital skills are the ones that shape that new experience. You'll need AR developers, for sure, but just as important will be the UI/UX designers who make it feel natural and the product managers who figure out what we'll actually do with it all.
So, after all that data, what's the big takeaway? It's not that everyone needs to become an AI engineer. The goal is to be strategic. It's about finding that sweet spot where 3 things overlap: what you're genuinely curious about, what you're naturally good at, and where the market is actually heading. That intersection, that's where you build a career that lasts. The people who win in the next decade won't be the ones who just collect certificates. They'll be the ones who stay curious and keep learning. So, we'll leave you with a question. After seeing all this, which one of these skills are you most excited to learn? Let us know what you think. Thanks for diving deep with us today. Never stop learning.